guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Spider-Woman issue 6. And before I start talking about Spider-Woman, just want to give you guys a couple updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 144, and that show will review all the comics I read this week in one show. And here are the exclusive comics. We have Red Agent issue 4, Deathstroke issue 17, Super Zeros issue 5, Daredevil issue 6, Outcast issue 18, X-Men Worst X-Men Ever issue 3, Black Canary issue 11, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 11, Star Wars issue 18, All New Wolverine issue 7, Patsy Walker aka Hellcat issue 5, Spidey issue 5, Miss Marvel issue 6, and International Iron Man issue 2. So if you want to go check out all those reviews, go to Comic Uno episode 144, which is annotated. But let's start talking about Spider-Woman issue 6. So this is like part 4 of part 4 of the Spider-Woman crossover, and honestly I think it's progressively gotten better, the crossover. It started out in this really rough shape with Spider-Woman Alpha, and got better as the tie-ins continued. So let's see if Spider-Woman's continuing that progression of getting this crossover better. So this is Jessica's story. We get to see more of a highlight on her character and her Earth 65 version of her character. Beautiful cover here, really like the colors, and then we have more of these hidden figures in the background. Who is this person? Because again, it is Jessica figuring out who is her Earth 65 version of herself. So let's start talking about the art style, which is different from the normal art style for Jessica Jones. Now, I will say I am a huge fan of Joelle Jones's artwork from Lady Killer, from that Mockingbird one-shot, and I love her artwork, but I don't know if her art fit totally for the Jessica Jones series, only because I'm so used to the real expressive facial expressions with our regular artists for Jessica Jones, but still really good art style, and I love the art, but it's weird to compare it to what we usually get with Spider-Woman, but it's understandable to get a replacement for the crossover because it could give the artist more time for the future story arc of Spider-Woman and to be consistent there. But let's see what's going on with the story. So with this issue, we get to see, again, Jessica try to figure out who her Earth 65 version of her character is. And at first she's like, oh, she doesn't even know if this character is a woman or not. And then as the issue goes on, she finds out that it actually is a guy who's her version. And then we see the wife who's like, oh, you look a lot like my husband, which is interesting because we never actually see a visual of what the husband looks like. Maybe in the future we will. But we see that the wife actually kind of has an idea of what the husband does and how they have so much money. But Jessica's also able to team up with the wife and make a deal of saying, hey, this is what your husband does and this is what I want to accomplish. So they make up and they're able to, again, figure out and kind of be on the same team in this issue. And then Silk and Gwen don't really have much to do in this issue. They just kind of return from like 2 pages of fighting and say, hey, are we going home? Who's your Earth 65 version? And Jessica's like, oh, it was a guy. And then they go home and we see that Reed Richards of Earth 65 has created a portal for them to go home out of Legos, which I thought was really funny. So we see them return, go home, and for some reason Gwen goes with them and says, hey, I'll join, let's go, even though this is my home. And Cindy returns even though she doesn't want to because she has her family here. And we have Jessica just going back to her child by the end of the issue. So I will say, let me give the slight negatives I have with this issue, honestly, was the ending. It was a little rushed. We were like, oh, look, portal's fixed, let's go. It doesn't quite make sense to me why Jessica had to find Jesse if they were just going to go home anyways. Maybe, I guess, to help Gwen out with their villain, which is Cindy/Silk, other Silk. So I guess that's what Jessica was trying to do, but at the same time, they were gonna go home in the end of the issue, and also it didn't quite make sense to me, like I said, why Gwen went there. It's like, that's her home. They could go see each other later. And then Jessica's like, I'm going to go see my kid. You guys find out this random villain. So it felt like more of this nonchalant, oh, let's, again, fight this random villain and see what's been going on in our world type thing. Even though they have multiple heroes that could deal with whatever's going on in Earth 616. So... Again, I think the end kind of fell apart a little, but I definitely love the whole Jessica thing with the wife, and then seeing the children come home, and then them being able to relate to each other because they both have children that they care about. So I enjoyed that. I wish we actually saw a visual of Jesse. I think maybe we saw a picture, but yeah, we saw a picture of him, and it's kind of zoomed out. The picture, so we don't really get to see him physically though, but it was fun. I had a really good time, and I do think this is the best issue of the Spider-Woman crossover so far. I really enjoyed Silk last week, but I think I had a little bit more enjoyment with this, with, you know, just some of the panel stuff going on, some of the cool scenes with the wife. There were some good scenes between Gwen and Cindy when they actually returned to Gwen's house. I thought, you know, there were some fun scenes there, and I'm curious to see where the crossover goes. I'm kind of scared that they're extending it just for the sake of extending it. I don't know if it needed 2 months, but we'll find out. And like I said, I gave Spider-Woman issue, what are we up to? Issue 6, 4 stars. I thought it was a very solid read, and so far my favorite part of the Spider-Woman crossover. I think it's great that every issue I keep saying that because it keeps improving, and hopefully we'll see that improvement in next issue of Spider-Gwen, which comes out next week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.